Everyone needs a little joy in their life, and positive joyful media is something I appreciate equally as much as the multitude of somber and macabre in my favorites. What I especially appreciate is art which acknowledges and engages with the harsh reality, all while still reaffirming that hopeful mindset. Our own self, our own mind, that is the one thing we have total control of. So any art that stimulates self-actualization is incredibly satisfying and motivating, a powerful reaffirmation of self, encouraging one to keep moving forward and find happiness in spite of the many trials that beset us. You can find this element in films like Makia, Wolf Children, In This Corner of the World, but in this video I want to hone in on a fairly obscure film that I think exemplifies it excellently. Mai Mai Miracle, a 2009 film produced by Studio Madhouse and directed by Sunao Katabuchi, director of the previously named In This Corner of the World, as well as the equally excellent Princess Arete, both of which I intend to cover in the future, as they're all visually stellar and bubbling with strong theming and interesting ideas. Mai Mai Miracle is kind of difficult to break down into a simple description of its premise or plot, because the way the story evolves is intentionally unusual, and the ideas it works with are intricately intertwined. It's the 50s out in the countryside in Japan, set in a small but tight-knit community with seemingly nothing as far as the eye can see beyond it. But oh, is there so much more. We're introduced at the outset to the young Shinko Aoki. She's imaginative, energetic, and filled with curiosity, extremely open to people and not one to back down or be judgmental in the face of an off-putting personality. She absorbs the wisdom her grandfather provides and learns of this humble town's history. 1,000 years ago, it was the site of an ancient capital. And of course she lets her imagination take her away to this storied land, as the lonely princess of the castle longs for a friend. We're just getting started as in comes Kiko, a recent move coming together with her father from Tokyo, her mother having died years prior, and struggling to fit in with the new lifestyle and people. Shinko quickly befriends her though, and through a shared project the whole group becomes fast friends. All unified over the dam they built, caring together for a goldfish they lovingly name after the teacher they all admire. Even the quiet truant Tatsuyoshi takes a role, who up to this point seemed distant and uninterested in everything. The rest of the story develops out of this central group and the variety of life's joys and trials that they face, alongside this other developing narrative of the town 1,000 years ago. All the trials of the present day are things that pretty much anyone could easily empathize with and likely relate to some degree, either directly or through the experiences of someone you know. While not explicit, it is mature, and it being through the perspective of the children provides it with a rather interesting angle. Now, the framing device of this imagined 1,000 years past is utilized to mirror character arcs and comment on the importance of past and future. This recognition and understanding of where we come from is understood to be intrinsically valuable. This connection granting even the humblest of homes the grandest of lineage. The past is something to carry with you, but not to be held back by. This is exemplified in how Shinko's love for the past, imbued in her by her grandfather, helps Kiko to grapple with the loss of her mother. She tried so hard to forget, to cast aside this complicated relationship, that she wanted not to care so much for a person she barely got the chance to know, but ultimately comes to recognize the importance of this memory and connection to her mother's past, and through that is able to overcome her trauma and be a more positively minded person for it. Something fascinating the movie does is how it really doesn't feel like there's a main character per se. Tatsuyoshi, for example, is someone who for most of the movie seems to be yet another one of the background ensemble, but it is ultimately his story and growth that most fully exemplifies the themes of the film. I won't spoil because I really do think this movie is worth checking out, and I highly recommend it, but Tatsuyoshi is similarly forced to face a traumatic past, one very bittersweet, and ultimately resolves to move forward, holding that past with him and building upon it to be an even better person in the future, and also to have a damn good time doing it. The way the characters grapple with tragedy feels incredibly real and is honestly one of the most interesting depictions of such that I've seen in anime. People come and go, live and die, everything feels so connected and universal. Everyone has to move on. And this movie is simply saying that it's worth a smile and a bit of hope along the way. This is excellently captured in the delightful visuals, which immediately bring you right into this cozy countryside, the slightly washed out colors giving it a sense of realism to contrast against the imaginative peaks, while also maintaining a joyful vibrance to everything, those tones only fully lost when the characters are at their lowest point. Everyone is animated, I mean the adjective here, conveying their emotions in a very nuanced manner. From restrained to over the top, it hits every beat excellently, with the addition of some well-utilized strong shot composition for dramatic effect. The music also, man, the music. If only I could find the soundtrack anywhere online. It fits perfectly into the strange tonal mixture the film is crafting, that shift between absurdity and down-to-earth, hopeful and mournful. It rides the line masterfully without ever feeling like it isn't part of one whole. This beautifully touching insert song is just a taste of how it helps to hit all the emotional beats needed. The film closes with a children's choir rendition of Sing from Sesame Street, and first off, that's just not fair. It was like a truck hitting me. I've got so much deeply emotional nostalgia tied up in that song, but I can't say it isn't fitting. Hold with you that joy on full display, and move forward proudly, not dwelling in insecurity. It's not that the sad moments aren't important, but that the future can always be so much brighter. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a like, a comment, maybe even shared the video around. This is a video about something that's not really that well known or popular, so I'm not really expecting it to do well, but if you could help at all, I would appreciate it. Special thank you to all my lovely patrons who are on screen now. Also go check out my channel with Jack's boy Jack and Kor for funny anime commentaries. We're also doing a weekly podcast called the Disney Cast, where we're going through all of the theatrical animated Disney films in chronological order. If you're still here, I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.